We are in the middle of the Geotab Global Hackathon. There are some few days left to submit, and today I'm here with LP Papillon. So, LP, what are you building here, and why are you building it?
So what we're building is an add-in. It's might not surprise a few of you, but we've been building add-ins for in the Geotab ecosystem for 11 years. We've built quite a lot of them. So we thought we try again and really try to leverage these new methods of interacting with the code. So not as much, not at all, basically this time, not at all writing code, but just prompting an LLM to do the code for us. And so that's what we decided to build as a proof of concept, but also as I would say, like continuous improvement for us internally. We're trying to make sure that we're um, leveraging these processes so that we can improve our development pipeline, right? So it's fun for the competition, but it should also serve as purpose for us so that we can improve our existing processes as well.
Yeah, that has been a lot of fun for me to see. Like, there are people that have never used Geotab, and they are building these great plugins and extensions for Geotab right now because AI has made it really, really easy to get started. But then we have people that have been working in the Geotab ecosystem for a long time. And again, all of these tools are new to everyone. So we are all getting adapted. And so some are learning from zero, some bring their previous experience. But first, for people to understand, how are you involved in the Geotab ecosystem?
So we've been a reseller since 2015 at AttriX, officially getting into the Geotab ecosystem 11 years ago. And we've also, from the start, one of the reasons we got into the Geotab ecosystem was to be able to leverage the SDK and build our own integrations. And so from day one, we started doing our own for our customers. And when the marketplace came around, we also founded another company called DVGo Solutions, which is a marketplace partner. So we're on both sides of the ecosystem as a partner and as a reseller.
So that's another cool thing for people that are new to the Geotab ecosystem. We have a marketplace where all of the solutions they're developing for the hackathon, they could make them available for to find customers within the Geotab ecosystem. And there's like a whole universe of different things that people can do. What did you build here?
So we built an add-in, and it is so stop. We wanted to build an add-in. The first thing that we wound up building is tools to leverage or to automate or to fine-tune the process of building add-ins with building and testing add-ins with Geotab. So traditionally for developer in the Geotab ecosystem, we've been using the generator add-in project, which is provided by Geotab, and it's a way to scaffold and automate add-in creation. So it puts in the boilerplate files, like your basic HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, and it bundles it so you can test locally. And then once you're ready, you can build it for deployment. So our goal was here to kind of phase out usage of that tool, which hasn't really been updated. It's kind of been outdated a little bit. Some parts of it are broken. So the first thing we wanted to do is make sure that we have a new tool in place using vibe coding, using prompting and knowledge injection and context engineering for the LLM so that we can provide it with the knowledge that it has, that it needs to be able to create and scaffold add-ins from scratch. And still, for us, match feature par with what we used to do manually before. So that for us, that involves Zenit usage. So using React, Zenit, Geotab Zenit, building there's some certain UI guidelines, and first it needs to be multilingual because we're in a French and English market, so it needs to work in multiple languages, and all of these things that we always tend to do manually, bit by bit. Now we're bundling it as knowledge and skills, and the LLM or the agent should be able to streamline all of that for us and provide us with dev tools to be able to test it really easily and instantly see what it's producing, give feedback, iterate on it until we're happy with it, and we can also deploy. So
Nice. So
also streamline deployment from there.
yeah, so in your case, because you've been developing professionally in this environment for so long, your first quest was not what's a cool thing that I can build with AI, but how can we get our tooling to work with the modern AI frameworks?
Correct. Correct. So tooling, it really defines, the way we work really defines what we're able to produce in the end, and all of these hurdles that we're hitting every time. And we've grown accustomed to it. So over the years, we've built several dozen, probably over 100 add-ins. And so we know how to do it, but we always tend to redo the same patterns that we know work. And we tend to kind of forget to take a step back and look at these processes and see how we can improve them. So that's really a good opportunity. This challenge was really good opportunity for me to really take this step back, look at what we're doing, and think about what we could be doing. So you're right, it's really about tooling initially. And once we got the tooling right, we tested it, just creating that and that does whatever. It wasn't really important, but just to see what it would produce. And when I was happy with the result of, hey, now it's able, with just one prompt, it's able to produce an add-in that is translated. It looks like I would expect it to. It's using Zenit, it's using React. It's able to show it to me live, like this is what it will look like in production. Then I was happy with it. And then I asked the question, okay, so now I want to build an add-in for the challenge. What should I build? So that was step two, really.
So, and this is a conversation we should really have after the hackathon because so far, and still, I'm a newcomer here. I've been telling people I don't care about production. We're going on a hackathon, take a demo, database, destroy it, try whatever you want. But you are already on the other side. You are ready to have the conversation. Okay, how do we secure this? How do we bring something that is really cool into a production environment that customers can use? So that's a whole conversation that uh, you could help a lot of people if they approached you, or if we could have that longer conversation later. But now for this demo, what does this add-in do?
Okay, so when we finally finished with building the tooling and we asked ourselves, okay, so what should we build for the challenge? I had the idea, and actually it was inspired by one of the examples in your in the repo. You had a lot of examples, and again, I told you this before, but a lot of these examples are things that we've already done, and that we already provide to our customers. So a lot of it was uh, not really challenging or not really new to us. But I found one of them that was, if I remember right, it was just a recap. I think it was meant to be an email or a summary or something might have been produced by Notebook LM or to be sent in Slack. I don't remember exactly the format, but the content was, hey, just provide a summary of what happened last week in your fleet as a high level, like executive summary. And that's actually something that we've been toying with and wanting to do for a few months, basically in line with similar to doing a QBR with customers. Now we want to automate doing a shorter term weekend review or likes. And for me, I didn't want to do it as a Slack integration or Notebook LM or video recording. I really wanted to make it interactive and build it as an add-in again, is what we are used to. And I think it's a way to centralize a lot of the information. Some of it might already be accessible in my Geotab, but some of what we built is not really readily available in my Geotab. So it's kind of new information that we're producing from Geotab data, and we're trying to make it really easy for it might be a fleet manager or a supervisor at some point in the fleet, looking at all the pillars that Geotab addresses. So we're thinking about sustainability, productivity, safety, and compliance, and really providing a summary of these four pillars. Here's what happened last week. and then hopefully giving them a way to take action on it. So our add-in is called Last Week in Fleet, and that's what it is. It's a summary basically of what happened last week. All right, so this is what it looks like when it's loading initially. So again, it looks like Geotab. It is, you couldn't tell that it's a third-party integration or that somebody else worked on it. It looks as though it is part of the default or vanilla My Geotab, but it's not. Um, it's using Zenith components, so it should really remind you of this is a typical header and title. These are typical tabs that you see throughout my Geotab. These are summary tiles, as you see more and more now. The Geotab is reworking on the UI. Um, so what it's doing is there's these four tabs, so productivity, safety, compliance, sustainability. So the four pillars that we're really looking at mostly. And then, so this is my summary of productivity. So we try to think of a few KPIs. So total distance driven, driving time, and idling time. So these relate to productivity. We have these, again, driving um, person time spent driving. So it's really low here in this demo, and percent of time spent idling. So these are just really high level KPIs for your fleet. And at the bottom here, we have our own map that we've integrated. And it's showing the summary of all of my trips for last week for the fleet. And there's a summary here, so it's a kind of a bar chart that's showing me who drove more, who in terms of vehicles. We're not looking at drivers here; these are vehicles. So which vehicles drove where, and I can hover it, and it'll be highlighted. The other ones will dim out, and it'll highlight the ones I'm over. So I can see geographically who did what or actually which vehicle went where and how much they drove, and maybe which assets might have been underused. So really summary tool to look at productivity KPIs and also maybe start looking at asset utilization and try to make better use of your assets.
So we have the productivity, safety, compliance, and sustainability tabs.
Yep. So safety is really about safety events. So this relates to the rules that might be configured in my geotab. So we are detecting automatically which are speeding rules, hard acceleration, harsh cornering, harsh braking. We are also looking now at tailgating. If you've got Go Focus or other compatible cameras that are tracking Go tailgating events, then those will be shown as well. And collisions. So all kinds of collisions, the legacy rule and the two new rules, so minor collision, major collisions. All of these are tracked. So we look at all these events for last week. We plot them on the map too, so you can see the chart here, and the size of the dots represent the number of events. So you can see there's a big, there's not that many harsh cornering events, but you can see that they're all located in the same vicinity, right? So this is the hotspot for harsh cornering here on this demo fleet. And you can see again, this street here for speeding is really a sensitive area, yes. But other than that, it's pretty scattered throughout the GTA. And the same thing here, you can mouse over one of them and you can see for this vehicle where they happen. So it'll dim out the other ones and just look at these ones for this vehicle. So summary of your fleet. This also works with the group filter. I can't really show it here because on this demo database there aren't any groups created, but we really always try to work with the group filter. So that's also something that we instructed the LLM. That's in the skills and the cloud.md file that we updated. We really want to make sure that as much as we can, we leverage the existing group filter in Geotab so that we pass that selection on to all the underlying API calls. Compliance really hard to demo here in on these demo databases because there's not any HOS, but again, really a focus on what happens in terms of fleet compliance last week. So it relates to HOS, unverified logs. Again, this is HOS, violations, unverified logs, ELD, malfunctions, and PC and usage. So these are things that you should be looking at if you're doing HOS in Canada or the US. And these are things that might be accessible through reports or in some cases through a page in Geotab, in my Geotab. But here we look at a glance and we work with the group filter, which Geotab doesn't really allow you for HOS violations. So really a nifty way to start from. And then we also provide links back to if you want to look at these events for OneDrive in particular, there's links to the proper page in my Geotab so you can drill into individual events or really things that might come up in the summary here.
Nice.
And the last one
And
is sustainability.
sustainability.
Yeah, sustainability. What we do here is and Geotab doesn't natively do this, we automatically decode the VINs for all of these vehicles in this environment. And all of them that are able to be decoded, we're looking at the primary fuel type. So we're either classifying them as gasoline vehicles or diesel vehicles. And so from the ones that we are able to match for diesel or gasoline, we'll look at all the fuel usage, fuel used, and we will calculate fuel economy. So you can look at liters per 100K, or it also, and that's also part of the tooling that we built, it also adapts to imperial measures. So if your user preference is to see things in MPG, you are going to see MPG here. That's automatic. And so we're reporting on MPG or liters per 100K used, and we're reporting on your scope 1 emissions. So CO2, again, this here is shown in kilograms of CO2, but if you're using imperial measures, it'll be in pounds. So CO2 total and CO2 idling. So scope 1 emissions, and again, this demo only has diesel, but you would see each of them separate. So total fuel used for each type of fuel, also total emissions for each type of fuel, and average fuel economy for each type of vehicle. And again, this still works with the group filter, so you can zoom in, zoom out, and really get a glimpse of how you did last week.
This is so cool. And as you've been working in this space, you know how this can be useful for your customers, for fleet managers.
Yes, so we try to address, again, this was one of the ideas here for this add-in, is we're trying to shine light on things that we know that a lot of customers are asking for and that might not be really easy um, to come into in Geotab. And so for productivity and safety, these are measures that you can find easily in my Geotab, but that aren't really easily plottable on a map. So now we're trying to give you a visualization. So the KPIs here aren't really anything new, but the visualization of them and the interactivity of it is the new part, which Geotab doesn't really easily do. And in terms of compliance and sustainability, we know that there's reports that you can produce, but it's very hard to this. There's nothing that's separated by gasoline or diesel by fuel type in Geotab. So it wants to do that through an HTSA VIN decoder here that powers this. And compliance, again, these are things that you can search for and find on their own, but it really doesn't have a central dashboard for anybody that's managing HOS or DVIR and DVIR. A central view of things that you would want to avoid or at least keep an eye on.
How do you usually interact with customers? What do they ask you for? Like, what kind of customers do you have?
We have mostly most of our customers are doing transportation and logistics. We are mostly in that vocational market, so transportation and logistics could be truckload, LTL, logistics and like 3PL. We do we do lots of customers, but it's really mostly focused on heavy trucking, so really heavy duty trucks, diesel. HOS is a big part of it. Compliance, we are all trained on compliance laws in Quebec and rest of Canada and the US. So that's really our core focus, and most of our integrations are that those needs.
So they use Geotab as the basic element, but then they come to you for help doing things like this. that this is where
Correct.
they really like working with you? Like, what's what they
Right.
love about?
What they love. So I think what they love is that we bring an understanding of their market. So like Geotab is good at heavy trucking, but Geotab is good at every fleet, right? They don't really specialize much in a vocation or a market or a segment. They try to do all things for as many people or vocations as possible. We are really specialized, and that makes it so that we have good industry knowledge and we have a good understanding of what their needs probably are. So there's things that we'll see, and again, all of our customers, all these companies operate differently. They'll have their small differences, but they all have pretty much the same needs. So compliance is usually a big issue, something they have to navigate. And again, everybody wants to do as much as they can with what they have. So asset optimization, fleet utilization, asset utilization is all very important. So keeping them on the road, keeping maximizing uptime, making sure they're safe, that they don't get into accidents. So they all have the same focus, and we have this expertise in building solutions that cater to those needs and that extend the platform.
Yep. And last week in Fleet is a perfect example of showing these customers, oh, this is what you need. Let me give you not only easy to use summary, but it's super interactive and fun to use. Like
Yeah,
just playing with that map
that's the
cell
goal.
looks super cool. Nice. Okay, let's go to the last part of this hackathon, which is people need to submit before the deadline. And for the submission, we need an open source GitHub that you have provided. And we need a 3-minute video. And the two questions here that I have is how do you balance the having a business that is doing this versus what, this part we're going to open source to show people and to participate in the hackathon, and the other part is like, okay, doing a 3-minute video. I already saw that you have a 30-minute video and then you produced a 3-minute video, and it was super cool to see how you made that easy. But I'll let you tell the story.
Yeah. So first of all, great question. That was for sure things that we had to think about before we got into the competition. Again, I was really excited to participate, but again, we're a business. We do stuff like this for a living, so we don't want to give away all of the secrets for everything. But with that said, really appreciate the open source community. We've tried to contribute when we can. And I don't think we're spilling any secrets, and I'm happy to share, right? I've been on the GTAP community for a couple of years, part of the Insiders program there. Really try to help newcomers in the ecosystem too. If they have questions about the API, I always try to step in and help the community. I think the community benefits from stuff like this. And here it's the same thing. I really appreciate you forcing us to submit this as open repos. And I think from my point of view, it's interesting to see how someone like me interacts with the LLM and the agents and the building and the prompting. So all of the prompts that I use to build this are available in the GitHub repo. You can look at the commit history. And again, we're not sharing really deep secrets of the business or infrastructure, how we have our secret sauce. But what I've shared, I think, will help newcomers get around, or maybe existing people in the ecosystem get new ideas, right? So that's again, we benefit as an ecosystem, as a platform, if we exchange ideas and we help each other out. So that's one thing. Really appreciate it.
Cool.
Hope some people take the time to look at each other's repository. I know I will. Um, I have for what's been shared so far, and I will for anything else that gets shared, hopefully. And the second part about the video, yes, I found out that I'm good at a lot of things, but keeping demos short and to the point isn't one of my strengths. So when trying to record the 3-minute video, I accidentally went 29 minutes, and I didn't really initially. I didn't know if I would have enough material to go 3 minutes, but apparently I went almost half an hour. So I didn't want to spend a lot of time. I'm not a video editor. I'm not a marketing guy or not used to producing this kind of collateral. So I thought I'd go into after vibe coding that in. I thought I'd get into vibe videoing, or I don't know how you would say it, but I tried Descript. So I went on, I got an ad basically, found it online. Actually, I think I asked Claude what tools I should use because this is what I was trying to do. And Claude suggested a few things. And the first one was Descript. And I remember seeing an ad for it a couple of these days or weeks ago. So I tried it out. And honestly, it was remarkable for me. I figured it would work and it would help and it would save me time, but I didn't think it would save me that much time. So it went from, I gave it the 30-minute video, it automatically it identified, like it built a script on its own, right? It figured out what the important parts would be. It took away all the like the filler words that I say all the time, right? So it cut all of those. It left me with a script. This is the new text. This is how we'll cut the videos, make it shorter. It should last 2 minutes and a half or something. And it said, "Do you want to go?" And I just looked at it. It took 2 minutes. I looked at it. I said, "Yeah, that looks good. Let's try that out." And within 2 minutes, my new video was edited. The voiceover was made automatically. I didn't do it this time, but it could produce also subtitles automatically. It did everything on its own. I didn't really prompt anything or change anything. So that was
I love it.
really
So
impressive to me. Right.
yeah, so if some people are struggling with making the video for the submission, your advice is just record a 30-minute video, say whatever you want. It doesn't have to be perfect, and then give your video to the script. Tell it to make a 3-minute video out of whatever you did, and it will.
Correct. Absolutely.
That's
So,
awesome.
and you say like, don't worry too much. That's the key thing is don't worry too much. And you could mess it up 100 times in your recording. It's gonna automatically just keep the good parts and build a video that's tighter and that makes more sense in terms of storytelling too. It's pretty good.
That's awesome. So I'm looking forward to seeing other people's submissions, comment on each other. We have Reddit too. I know we have, as you mentioned, we have this awesome community insiders community that I'm just getting to meet as I join Geotab. But it's awesome how everyone shares best advice and everything. So now it's time to build together in the AI world. Before we close this session, any other comments, things you want people to remember?
Um, Nothing comes to mind, but the things to keep in mind is okay. So my thing, my comment, my advice is whenever you don't know how to do something, ask your AI, your favorite AI, right? So it could be Gemini, it could be Claude, it could be ChatGPT, it could be anything. But we really, vibe coding is one thing, right? Ask, prompting it and telling it, hey, do this, that's one thing. But asking it for ideas, asking it for its opinion about like maybe you have something in mind and you're all like you almost have your plan ready and you're not quite sure, you're not quite there. Ask it for advice, asking to draft a plan, ask it for suggestions for it'll come up with the plan for you, it will help you out. It's really you can work on so many different levels for that. And that's really another thing where you have to take a step back and really think about right? This is vibe coding, but it's not just vibe coding. It's interacting on a day-to-day basis with an agent, and the agent can help you code, but it can help you plan. It can help you analyze your problem, structure. It can help you get ideas. It can help you at all of these different levels. So leverage, think about doing it, leverage your favorite AI assistant. It can help at all of these stages through your ideation to final deployment and yeah, bringing it to production. It can help at all of these steps. So always keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's a great mindset change, which is like, oh, if you're stuck in a step and thinking, how do I solve this with AI? Just ask AI, how do I solve this with AI? And you will unblock yourself and start generating ideas. And sometimes landing something as easy as use the script for this.
There you go.
My last question that Emma is sending us is, where did you spend the most time?
So I know if you look at the commit history, you'll see I probably worked on this over the course of a week, maybe 10 days in total. But Uh, in reality, I've worked on this probably around 5 or 6 hours in total. So most of the time is just thinking of things that we could add, maybe getting new ideas of things, yeah, new features, fixes, improvements, testing it out, yeah, drafting our own feedback and then iterating on that, and letting, in my case, it was Claude, letting Claude do the work. Where I've spent most of my time is making sure that it scales, trying it on different environments. So again, we have the
Yes.
demo databases. I have three of them. I tried it on three of them. I tried it on customer databases, and that showed me other problems. So different environments will have different amounts of data, different volumes, different structures. So testing is the longest part of it, and then iterating on
Yeah,
whatever you find as problems. But the actual development time is really nothing much. It's almost magic.
yeah. It's been 5 hours, and it has been 5 hours where you've learned a lot about these tools. Like,
Absolutely, yeah.
it's it's not 5 hours developing something to win, but it's 5 hours playing with these tools and learning how they work. And
Yeah, and that
you,
5 hours, it's an investment. It's for the challenge, right? It's for fun, but that
Mhm.
5 hours will save me tens of hours in my future work because of new strategies, new knowledge, new structure, new ideas, and new accomplishments, right? So it's nothing's wasted. It's all new things, new learnings, new lessons, new ideas.
That's such a cool message, and we really need to have a conversation in the future about this scaling part. So far, people just play with your 50 vehicle demo database, do something super cool. We need to talk about going to production after this step. Um, Last thing, where would you like people to find you, talk to you? Like any?
My LinkedIn is on the GitHub repo. I'm on Reddit. I'm on the Geotab community too. So don't hesitate if you have questions. If you're starting out, reach out.
Yes. So people can find the on Reddit, our Geotab, our hackathon thread, and that's where I found your video, your GitHub submission, and people can go from there and find all of us and collaborate. Like not just find us, be a part of this.
Exchange.
Thank exchange. Thank you very much, LP, and have a great day. I'll see you soon.